For almost 2 years, people in the Gulf country of Bahrain have protested against their dictatorial king. The government has banned all demonstrations, but thousands gather anyway, and they are regularly attacked by police with tear gas and live ammunition. Bahrain's King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa is closely allied with the U.S. and Western countries. Bahrain is located next to Saudi Arabia and just across the Gulf from Iran. It's home to the U.S. Navy's Fifth Fleet. Opposition leaders say the U.S. has a double standard. It imposes harsh economic sanctions on Syria, but only verbally criticizes Bahrain's government. I've visited Bahrain to find out more about this island nation in turmoil. I'm Reese Ehrlich, reporting for the Pulitzer Center on Crisis Reporting. I'm here in Muhaza village in Bahrain looking into allegations of human rights abuses. Abdullah Al-Mizu and his family were asleep in his apartment one recent night. At 3 a.m., security forces smashed in the lock on his door as part of a wider raid on Muhaza village. Al-Mizu says daytime checkpoints and nighttime raids are a form of collective punishment against any village with an active opposition movement. Al-Mizu says, "I don't know why they raided my house. I think they did it to intimidate people. I'm not a political activist, but I will become one because of the regime's actions." The government outlawed all demonstrations in late October, but over 100 protests have taken place anyway. This video from Al Jazeera shows a mass funeral march organized in mid-December held in defiance of the protest ban. Many Bahrainis want to change the country's authoritarian government. This small nation has had the same unelected prime minister for 41 years. The parliament has little real power. The government arbitrarily arrests dissenters, deprived some of citizenship, and has tortured several to death. Inspired by the Arab Spring, traditional opposition parties advocate nonviolent resistance, but younger militants, when attacked by the security forces, now throw rocks and hurl Molotov cocktails at police. Government authorities deny mistreatment of demonstrators. In this video from Bahrain TV, military officers show their loyalty to the king while pledging to maintain law and order. In an interview, Abdulaziz Al Khalifa, a second cousin to the king and government spokesperson, says violence has become the norm, and that's why authorities ban all demonstrations.
Every time there is a quote-unquote peaceful demonstration, there are elements in those marches that turn to violence. And therefore, instead of letting things spiral out of control and have total anarchy on the street, this is a temporary suspension of these marches and protests.
Opposition leaders note that the temporary suspension has no termination date. Without doubt, however, youthful demonstrators are becoming more militant in the face of government repression. The youthful opposition is also advancing more radical political demands. An activist in Muhaza village criticizes the U.S. for not taking action against King Hamad's repression, while pouring resources into overthrowing Syria's Bashar al-Assad. He says activists are now discussing whether the U.S. Navy should pull out of Bahrain. He says, "We want them to leave because the U.S. supports the dictatorship. If they don't support the dictatorship, they are welcome." Bahrain's Arab Spring uprising shows no sign of losing steam, and so far, the government has not made significant compromises. This important Middle East nation will likely be in turmoil for months to come. For the Pulitzer Center on Crisis Reporting, I'm Reese Ehrlich, reporting from Bahrain.